Have you ever poured yourself a glass of milk thinking it was a healthy choice, only to feel tired, bloated, or hungry again just an hour later? If you're living with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, this might not be a coincidence. Most people have no idea that the type of milk you drink can directly impact your blood sugar levels, even when the label says unsweetened or low fat. But here's the truth. Some types of milk can actually help lower your blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, and reduce your risk of glucose spikes. Others, even the ones that seem healthy, can silently raise your fasting blood sugar, increase inflammation, and sabotage your efforts to reverse insulin resistance. And yet, very few doctors ever talk about this. So today, I'm going to show you the 7 best types of milk for diabetics, the ones that can actually support your body's natural ability to manage glucose. I'll also tell you which ones to avoid, how to read between the lines on confusing labels, and how to choose the best milk for your unique case, whether you're trying to lose weight, lower your A1C, or just feel more stable after meals. But first, let's talk about why milk matters at all. Most people think of milk as a source of calcium or protein, but when it comes to blood sugar, what really matters is the glycemic impact, how fast that milk raises your glucose levels after drinking it, and the difference between one milk and another can be massive. For example, did you know that a single glass of low-fat dairy milk can raise your blood sugar almost as much as a slice of white bread? That's because it contains lactose, a natural sugar, and skim milk tends to hit your bloodstream faster than whole milk, spiking your glucose more rapidly. Now that doesn't mean all milk is bad. In fact, some kinds of milk, especially certain plant-based options, can actually help lower blood sugar when chosen correctly. But here's the key. You have to know what to look for and what to avoid. And don't worry, I'm going to break it down for you in this video, one by one. But before we dive into the list, let's ask the question most people never ask. Why does milk spike blood sugar in the first place? The answer lies in insulin resistance, the root cause of type 2 diabetes. When your body becomes resistant to insulin, glucose can't enter your cells properly. It builds up in your blood instead. And every time you consume a food or drink that's high in fast-digesting sugars, like certain milks, it adds fuel to that fire. So your goal, if you want to reverse insulin resistance, is to eat and drink things that keep your blood sugar stable. That means looking for low glycemic index options, high in healthy fats or proteins, low in sugar, and ideally rich in nutrients that support metabolic health. Milk can either help you or hurt you, and it all comes down to the kind you choose. So stay with me, because I promise, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which milk to pour in your glass if you want to support your health, not sabotage it. You'll also understand why some diabetic-friendly milk brands are actually harmful, which ingredients to avoid at all costs, even in unsweetened varieties, how to use milk strategically to avoid blood sugar crashes, and which type of milk is best before bed if you struggle with fasting blood sugar in the morning. But more than that, I want to give you clarity. Because I know how confusing it is to live with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes today. One day you're told to drink almond milk. The next, it's oat milk. Then it's goat milk. Then someone says, just stick with cow's milk. The information is conflicting. The labels are misleading. And the side effects are real. And that's why this video matters. Because I've gone through the research, studied the data, and I'm going to give you the truth in simple, practical language. So make sure to stay until the end, because I'll not only reveal the #1 best milk to help lower your blood sugar naturally, but I'll also show you how to combine it with one simple ingredient to boost its blood sugar lowering effects even more. This combo is delicious, easy, and you probably already have it in your kitchen. Now, let's get started with milk number 7 on the list, a type that most people overlook, but which has surprising benefits for blood sugar control, gut health, and even inflammation reduction. Let's begin with milk number 7, one that's been around for centuries, but is often ignored in modern diets. Number 7, goat milk. Yes, goat milk. Now, I know it's not the most common choice in the supermarket, But for people with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, goat milk can be a surprisingly good option when used in moderation. Unlike cow's milk, goat milk contains less lactose and has a different structure of proteins and fats, which makes it easier to digest for many people. But here's the most interesting part. Goat milk has a lower glycemic impact than skim milk, meaning it raises your blood sugar more slowly. It also contains medium-chain fatty acids, which are easier for your body to burn as fuel instead of being stored as fat. Plus, it's rich in calcium, vitamin A, and small amounts of magnesium, a mineral that plays a key role in glucose metabolism. But there's a catch. You have to choose full-fat goat milk and avoid flavored or sweetened versions. And portion size matters. Stick to about half a cup to 1 cup at a time, especially if you're pairing it with other carbs. It's not the best milk on this list, but if you digest it well and enjoy the taste, it can be a useful part of a diabetic diet meal plan. Now, let's move on to something more familiar. Number 6. Unsweetened almond milk. This one might not surprise you, but it's still worth explaining why it's so helpful. Almond milk, when it's unsweetened and unflavored, is one of the best low-carb, low-glycemic index milk alternatives available. Why? Because a cup of unsweetened almond milk contains 1 to 2 grams of carbs, virtually no sugar, and almost no impact on blood glucose levels. That means you can enjoy it in your coffee, smoothies, or even with diabetic-friendly cereal without worrying about spikes. Plus, many almond milks are fortified with calcium and vitamin D, which are essential for bone health, especially in people with type 2 diabetes, who are at higher risk of bone density loss. But not all almond milks are created equal. Many brands add gums, preservatives, or hidden sugars, so you must read the label carefully. Look for options with less than 2 g total carbs, no added sugar, minimal ingredients, ideally water, almonds, and sea salt. And here's a tip. Try to avoid carrageenan if you have digestive issues. Some people are sensitive to it. Almond milk isn't very high in protein, so if you're using it as a meal replacement, make sure to pair it with something that contains healthy fat or protein, like chia seeds, flax seeds, or a boiled egg. Now let's move on to a newer, trendier option. 5. Flax milk. You may not have tried this one yet, but flax milk is gaining popularity fast, especially among people focused on blood sugar management. Why? Because flax seeds are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that helps reduce inflammation, lower triglycerides, and support insulin sensitivity. Flax milk is made by blending flax seeds with water, and many store-bought versions have 0 grams of sugar and just 1 gram of carbohydrate per cup. That makes it one of the lowest glycemic plant-based milks available. It's also nut-free, soy-free, and usually easier to digest than oat or rice milk, which are too high in starch for most people with prediabetes or diabetes type 2. Flax milk has a mild, neutral taste and works well in tea, coffee, baking, or even mixed with diabetic-safe protein powder. Just like with almond milk, you want to look for unsweetened versions, minimal ingredients, no added sugars or thickeners. Some brands even fortify flax milk with vitamin B12, which is great for people following a mostly plant-based or vegetarian diet, and especially important if you're on metformin, which can deplete B12 levels. And here's a bonus. Flax milk may help lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol, and support gut health, all critical factors in reversing type 2 diabetes naturally. So, while it may not be in every fridge yet, flax milk deserves serious attention if your goal is to lower blood sugar fast, safely, and naturally. Now, in the next part of this video, we'll look at milks number 4, number 3, and number 2, including one that's almost always misunderstood, and another that's shockingly effective at lowering blood sugar when used the right way. These next ones might surprise you, and could change what you keep in your fridge. Now let's get into the most surprising part of the list. These next milks are often misunderstood. Some people think they're bad for diabetes, others swear by them. But the truth is more nuanced. Let's start with 4. Coconut milk, unsweetened. Coconut milk gets a lot of attention and confusion. Some people think it's too high in fat, others think it's full of sugar. But here's the real story. Unsweetened coconut milk, especially the kind sold in cartons, not cans, is extremely low in carbohydrates, often less than 1 gram per cup. That means it has virtually no impact on blood sugar levels. It's also rich in medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, healthy fats that are quickly absorbed and used for energy instead of being stored as fat. And MCTs have been shown in studies to improve insulin sensitivity, increase energy levels, and support fat loss, especially around the belly, which is crucial for people with insulin resistance. Now, there are 2 types of coconut milk, canned and carton. Canned coconut milk is thicker, higher in calories and fat, and often used for cooking. Carton coconut milk is lighter, lower in fat, and better for daily drinking. If you're using it in coffee, smoothies, or cereal, go for the unsweetened carton version, and again, always check the label. Avoid versions with added sugar, preservatives, or long ingredient lists, and be careful not to confuse it with coconut water, which can be higher in natural sugar and not ideal for blood sugar control. Coconut milk is also a great option if you're following a low-carb diabetic diet or experimenting with intermittent fasting, as the healthy fats help you feel fuller without spiking insulin. Next on the list is a classic, but with a twist. Number 3. Whole cow's milk, full fat in moderation. Wait, cow's milk? Isn't that supposed to be bad for blood sugar? Here's the truth, and it might surprise you. Skim and low-fat cow's milk can cause larger blood sugar spikes because the fat is removed, and what remains is mostly lactose, a natural sugar. But whole milk, with its full fat content intact, digests more slowly. That means it leads to a gentler rise in glucose, especially when consumed with a meal. And here's the key. The fat content in whole milk actually slows the absorption of lactose, making it easier on blood sugar levels. Whole milk also provides vitamin D, calcium, and a complete protein, all important for people trying to maintain muscle mass, bone strength, and overall health with type 2 diabetes. But moderation is critical. Even though the fat helps stabilize the glucose response, cow's milk still contains around 12 grams of sugar, lactose, per cup. So if you drink too much or pair it with other high-carb foods, your fasting blood sugar may rise. Here's how to use it smartly. Choose organic or grass-fed if possible. Stick to 2 cup to 1 cup max per serving. Never drink it alone as a snack, always with protein, fiber, or fat to balance the effect. This milk is not ideal for everyone, especially if you're very sensitive to lactose or trying to reduce inflammation. But if you tolerate it well and use it wisely, whole milk can actually be part of a diabetic-friendly meal plan, much more than skim milk ever could. And now, we move on to one of the most effective, underrated, and misunderstood milks in the entire diabetic world. Number 2. Pea Protein Milk, unsweetened. You've probably seen it at the store, brands like Ripple or Not Milk. But most people don't realize how powerful this option is for people with type 2 diabetes. Why? Because pea milk contains almost no sugar, very few carbs, and a surprisingly high amount of plant-based protein, up to 8 grams per cup, which is comparable to dairy milk. This combination, low carbs plus high protein, is exactly what you want for blood sugar stability. Protein slows digestion, balances insulin response, and keeps you full longer, reducing cravings and late-night glucose crashes. And unlike oat milk, which is often loaded with hidden starches, or rice milk, which spikes sugar quickly, pea milk has one of the lowest glycemic indexes among plant-based options. It's also free from nuts, dairy, gluten, and soy, making it perfect for people with allergies or digestive sensitivity. Some pea milks are fortified with vitamin D3, calcium, iron, omega-3s, all of which are crucial for people managing insulin resistance, prediabetes, and long-term blood sugar issues. Just make sure to choose the unsweetened version. Some flavored options have up to 15 g of added sugar. Also, if you're trying to lose weight or reduce inflammation, pea milk's protein content can help you maintain lean muscle mass without insulin spikes. In many ways, this is the ideal milk for people with type 2 diabetes, and it often gets overlooked simply because it's newer and less familiar. But now you know. And finally, in the next section, I'll reveal the #1 best milk to lower blood sugar naturally, the one most people skip over or misunderstand, but that may be the most powerful option of all. And I'll also show you how to combine it with one ingredient, already in your kitchen, that can transform it into a blood sugar balancing powerhouse. Stay with me. This last one might change the way you look at milk forever. And now, we've arrived at the most powerful milk on this list, one that's gaining popularity among doctors, dietitians, and people who've successfully reversed type 2 diabetes. It's not trendy, it's not exotic, but it works, naturally, safely, and consistently. #1. Unsweetened hemp milk. Hemp milk is made from the seeds of the hemp plant. And no, it won't make you high. But what it will do is give your body a unique combination of nutrients that directly support blood sugar control, insulin sensitivity, and inflammation reduction. Let me explain. Hemp seeds are naturally rich in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, which support insulin sensitivity, magnesium, a mineral many diabetics are deficient in, and which helps regulate fasting blood sugar, plant-based protein, which slows digestion and helps balance glucose after meals, and gamma-linolenic acid, GLA, a compound with anti-inflammatory effects. All of this translates to stable blood sugar, fewer spikes, and better diabetes management over time. Most unsweetened hemp milk has only 1 to 2 grams of carbs per cup, 0 sugar, and 4 to 5 grams of protein, a rare combination in plant-based milks. It also tends to be well tolerated even in people with food sensitivities. No dairy, no soy, no nuts, no gluten. And here's something most people don't realize. Unlike almond or oat milk, hemp milk provides real nutritional value beyond just being low in carbs. It's actually doing something inside your body, helping your cells process glucose more effectively. But the magic doesn't stop there. Because when you combine unsweetened hemp milk with cinnamon, you unlock something even more powerful. Yes, cinnamon. Just a 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon stirred into a glass of hemp milk can help lower blood sugar even further. Cinnamon contains compounds that mimic insulin, increase cellular glucose uptake, and slow the rate at which food leaves your stomach, all of which help reduce glucose spikes. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming cinnamon with a carb-containing meal led to significantly lower blood sugar readings in people with type 2 diabetes. So imagine this: a cup of unsweetened hemp milk, a dash of real Ceylon cinnamon, maybe a drop of vanilla or stevia for flavor, stirred gently, served warm or cold. This simple drink, taken once a day, perhaps before bed, can help support better overnight glucose levels, reduce sugar cravings, and even support better sleep, which is also critical for reversing insulin resistance. And the best part? It's safe, it's natural, and it works with your body, not against it. You don't need to starve yourself. You don't need to drink chemical shakes. You don't need to feel confused every time you look at the milk aisle. Because now you know. You know which milks help, and which ones harm. You understand how to read the labels. You've seen how something as simple as the right milk can move you closer to freedom, the kind of freedom you haven't felt in years. And if you're still wondering whether all of this can make a real difference, let me say this. I've seen it happen. People who drank the wrong milk for years, thinking they were doing the right thing. People who gave up because nothing seemed to work. People who were tired of meds, side effects, and confusion, and then people who made one small change. And everything started shifting. Because that's how transformation begins. With a single smart choice. With clarity. With action. So I invite you now to take that first real step, not just by choosing the right milk, but by choosing to take your health seriously. And if you want to go even deeper, to discover the full protocol that thousands are using to lower their blood sugar naturally, support their pancreas, and reverse type 2 diabetes, there's something waiting for you in the description link. It's simple, it's natural, and it's working. Make sure to check it out. And if this video gave you clarity, if it helped you feel more in control, please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We're building a movement of education, action, and healing. And your support means everything. You are not broken. You are not too far gone. Your body still wants to heal, and it can. One smart decision at a time. Let's do this together.